Timeout, overtime, hot take, debate, penalty by so many options. We on the way, unapologetic opinions, guests checking in, so I share on my social. Merch going up, my brother, he going global. Ads hold it down for the ladies, they need their own show. But we right back with it. Timeout with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute. But we right back with it. Timeout with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Timeout with Coach Cam. It's your boy Cam Chancellor, and I am excited today. We are discussing everything Bearcats. I have my guy with me, Bearcat Insider, so I'm excited to talk with them about the football team in this past season and what to look for in the future, and also to discuss what's going on with UC basketball and give us a little light at the end of the tunnel there. Uh, but I'm not gonna waste any more time and bring them on. JT Smith, what's going on, baby?
Not much what's happening, Cam.
Hey, nothing much, man. I'm excited to talk UC with you, man. Especially just following you on Twitter and everything like that, man. You doing your thing, and big ups to you for sure.
I appreciate you, man. I know you be doing your thing too. We chop it up quite a bit,
Yeah,
So
yeah, we do.
you.
You talk me off the ledge for the most part.
I know you be there. You be there. I mean, this year I can understand you being close to the ledge. I can understand that, but it's a little light at the end of the tunnel, man. It's just a little tough. We're catching a lot of body blows right now.
Right, definitely catching some body blows, man. But let the people know like where they can find you and where they can find your work.
All right, cool. So the website, thefrontofficenews.com. Check that out for sure. Wherever podcasts are at, you can check out TFON. Short for the Front Office News. The podcasts are everywhere podcasts are available. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, go _JT_Smith. Having the last name Smith, I got to have all those underscores, so don't be mad at me, y'all. And then also Front Office News, at Front Office News. You can hit me up there too. So normally I'm running that. And then Instagram is still Front Office News. So check that out. And that's where I'll be, talking my Bearcat stuff and having little jokes here and there. So
there it is. All right, what's up, J. Coop? Definitely faithful watcher of the show. We're gonna get straight into it, man. Obviously, Marcus Freeman left. Left and went to Notre Dame. Not mad at him. Can't really blame him.
Yeah.
Definitely, close to home. Don't have to move that far with his kids. It was kind of a no-brainer. But behind that has been been a domino effect.
Definitely.
We've lost, the 4-star Melvin Jordan.
Yeah.
We lost Mumu, the defensive back.
Yeah.
That kind of, started this wave.
Yeah.
And then we lose another one as well.
It's one that hasn't officially done it, but from his social media, it looks like it's going to be done. He just hasn't announced it. I think it was the Bobo Masters. I think.
Yeah.
Masters kid. I think he's already committed, but somebody asked him a question. He pretty much answered it like, "Hey, I'm not committed to them," and I think he was already committed. So, or he was one of the Savage 7. Either he was about to commit, or I don't know if he was one of the committed. I know I'm babbling a little bit, but I mean, the Savage 7, who those guys, which Jordan and Mumu are apart, it's done. You know what I mean? And I would highly doubt that they come to UC. And it's just because of Freeman, man. He's just such a good recruiter and coach. It is what it is, man. When you lose somebody and it's that much time, you can't expect to keep them. So, just gotta lick their wounds and keep pushing for real.
Yeah, definitely. And now with the decommits, is that a big concern you think moving forward, or just a little blow just because obviously Freeman and the connection he had with those particular players?
Honestly, I think they're gonna be fine overall. It's just that it's gonna be a few of the kids that have already committed that people have already hype over, and rightfully so. The kids put in the work and they're low 4-star, high 3-star guys. But I think overall the program, long as Fick's still there, and then he's getting the same type of guys. I mean, Freeman is a big blow. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat that anyway, no matter if we talk off the air or on the air. I mean, that's a big blow because he's such a good recruiter. I mean, even not even looking at how good he coaches, his X's and O's it's top notch. You saw what he did against Georgia without Sauce, and it's like, dude, that's crazy. But Melvin, even if you looked at his tweets, he said, I think the dude from the Inquirer said something. My man Keith said something to him. He was like, I trust where Freeman's going to put me. And he's a defensive outside linebacker, defensive end, and he's not there. So, I think the 22 class is going to hurt a little bit, but I think it's so much time, and they got so many people that know how to recruit this area. I think they'll be fine. It's just those kids that everybody was already fixated on. Those kids aren't coming, So it's kind of like now we're worrying about the next crop, or who's the second, not the second tier, but that where everybody's falling in love with that Savage 7, because it was a lot of low 4 stars, people flipping them from XYZ down south, and it's just not going to be those guys. So it's just going to be a new batch, and then we got to roll with it,
Gotcha. And everyone, if you're commenting, please go to the Timeout with Coach Cam page to comment. That's the only way it's going to pop up, so we'll be able to see your comments and react to them. So go to the Timeout with Coach Cam page to go ahead and comment there, so we can pull them up. And just to piggyback off your point, that's what I was thinking. I was, of course, I was concerned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rightfully so.
Good recruiter, like you said, just to piggyback, but I'm like, the main guy's still here.
Yep.
And that's it. It's not like they both left.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, as long as he here, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
And we got to trust him. I think he's earned the right to be trusted over these last, 4 years. So I'm not too worried. But honestly, with Cincinnati sport, I'm scared of change. You know what I mean? In general, especially when you got something good going. So And Jay Lee, my guy didn't know you had a podcast. Yes, sir. All right, so now moving forward to next year, it's behind us. You got 15 starters coming back. So you got a solid group coming back. But what are some names that we should look forward to next year that could possibly have that breakout year that you didn't hear much from this year?
Oh man, that's man, we might be here for a while on that one. So I'm gonna start on the offensive side of the ball. I'm gonna go with Ethan Wright, running back. So he's a true freshman. I think he got his first catch against Tulsa in the AAC game. It was might have been he got a start. It was a little swing pass, but dude's explosive. He got real nice hands, fast, shifty running back. Before COVID hit, went to a couple practices, and then you just kind of saw him this young man can play a little bit. But with Dokes being gone, Ford's the man. Everybody saw that, knew that was going to be how it was coming. Right. Montgomery's solid. I think he's a solid running back and do a little bit of everything out the backfield. But Ford's going to be the man. But I think the person nobody's really accounting for right now is Wright. Wright is going to be that guy that's like, oh, who's this dude? Who's this young man? I think he's going to be the dude on the running back stable. The wide receivers, it's a lot, man. It's a toss up because Ja'Shawn Jackson, I didn't see him transferring just because he played so much. Right. But you saw how they rotated the receivers so much during the year. You kind of can understand it, just being, him putting the equity in, like, hey, maybe I might play 50% of the, snaps and I can go somewhere else and play more. Because he's a talented dude. He had a couple drops here and there, but this year I think he stepped up real big when they needed him. But I think that's going to open it up for guys like Jadon Thompson, who's a true freshman this year. Played a little bit early. I think Pierce was hurt the first game, so he started the first game. After that, he kind of sprinkled in every once in a while, but he kind of has that same skill set where, when they get him in the weight room, I think he's going to get to that kind of be like that Pierce clone, that deep ball guy, got to go up there and get the 50-50 ball. So I would see him being that guy, all right, maybe next year he takes a jump. Only thing that's going to hurt him is everybody staying besides Jackson. So, he might not get as many looks as he made the year afterwards, So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I think he'll be a guy like Thompson, be like, oh, who's he? And then I think Tyler Scott, another wide receiver, who's speedy guy, kind of can do they play him on the outside too, but he's kind of where you can maybe do a Trey Tucker type of role where you give him that sweep, real fast playmaker kind of dude. So those two guys on that front. Defense, man, it's loaded. I'm gonna go to the D-backs since I talked with Coach Eliano yesterday. But they're keeping their whole defensive back unit besides the safety. So Wiggins and Forrest are gone. But if you're gonna go with, you saw how Cook played against Georgia.
Yeah.
He's bringing the hammer. He's even from when he was getting spot work, he always hit. And then Vaughn, you got Javon Hicks, who when my man Wiggins was out, he played a heck of a ball as a sophomore. So those are kind of like the people that are going to do good. That if you don't watch the team, you don't know, but if you watch the team, you kind of know they're coming. But the cornerback position is going to be interesting because you got everybody coming back, but you got a lot of young guys that really didn't play that much that are like real good, like Sammy Watkins. I'm thinking of NFL, but Sammy Anderson, best cornerback, in Ohio coming in last year.
Yeah,
didn't play that much, but I think another year in the system, like I don't think they're gonna be able to deny him getting playing time. Justin Harris, I think he's gonna get to play. I know before COVID hit at practice, he was definitely running with the twos, but he definitely very vocal, made a lot of plays, just seemed like to always be in the right place. I feel like he'll get his chance. Both of those guys, I think, will be guys that you will be like, oh man, they might get to play. Hopefully they don't have to out of necessity, but hopefully they just get a chance to play because they're just playing good. Hopefully it's not because of injury or anything like that. And then the linebackers are going to be different. No, not really different. Jarrell left, but the other two seniors are staying. But Von Flossen, I think he's going to play very well. His spot duty, I thought he did very well. But they just got so many young pups. So, you got Thomas, Jones, and what's my man's name? Cole Rain, outside linebacker.
Pace. Deshaun Pace.
Pace. All those dudes are legit. So that's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works and plays itself out because if it wasn't for those seniors staying, just from seeing those young men play, maybe the first game they might be a little out of place at certain place, but they're so athletic. I feel like when they get their chance to get out there and do their thing, it's going to be crazy. And then the defensive line is just so stacked, and they really didn't leave. Only person that really left was Elijah Ponder. I could think off the top of my head, and everybody else is staying because I thought Amon Sanders was gone personally. If you would have said, hey, bet me amount of money that means something, is he staying or leaving? I thought he was going to go. But him staying, he's going to rise the stock. You got more people coming in. It's just going to be interesting, man. I say like a person that didn't play that much this year, that may be somebody to watch out for on the D-line. I'm going to go with Eric Phillips. Just because everything I heard from him about him is he was ready. It's just they were so deep. So,
right.
And, so it's going to be interesting, man. I try to sprinkle that in just because, every spot had a couple holdovers that you didn't expect, so Brooks staying, I think Brown stayed. So it was like, okay, then they got a transfer, Triggs coming in, who was a starter. I want to say he started at Virginia.
Briggs.
Yeah, Briggs. Yep. So it's like, you got, that's going to be crazy. I think they're going to have a super rotation. You still got Malik Van's going to, be holding it down. Solid player. I think he's going to play very well in his senior year. So I think honestly, this team's going to be real good, man, because you got, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but, Ritter staying was crazy. I didn't expect.
I didn't expect it. I thought he was gone.
I thought he was gone. So, when he stayed, I was like, man, you got a quarterback that everybody's starting to show love, and he stays. That's going to put UC, I think it should be in the top 10, honestly. Top 7 from the beginning, but I don't think they'll get the love because of the conference.
Yeah.
They won't, if they got them too close, then it's like we start them off at 7. They pop Indiana, they pop Notre Dame. They in. You can't deny them. If they're in the top 10 and they pop those two teams, you can't deny them. Honestly, so I wouldn't be shocked if they put them at 12, 13. But it wouldn't be right. Like anybody that watches the teams or watches football knows that UC is a legit top 17 off top because all this talent they have coming back.
Yeah, I agree. Like if anybody, it had a different name across the chest. If it had Alabama, Auburn,
Yeah.
anything across that chest, and 15 starters coming back from a 9-1
Yep.
football team that lost by 3 to Georgia would be definitely top 10, if not top 5.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Georgia, I've seen Georgia number 1. You know, like so it's like, and I mean, they literally the dude hit a 54-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I would say like this. I mean, I don't want to get back into. I know I'm gonna get the rambling. My bad, Cam.
Nah, you go ahead. That's why. That's why.
Get the rambling. But you know, you think about it. If Dan Brock adjusts to not having Hudson get kicked out the game, they win that game still. I believe that with all my heart. Like, no BS. Because like, the dude that number 13, he has a long name, so I don't want to murder. But number 13 for Georgia didn't make a play until Hudson got kicked out of the game.
He ended up with 3 sacks on
3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 4 tackles, all in the second half, essentially. And was the MVP of the game. So, like, you think about it, if he just chips, I think he just goes heavy, chips him, because Mets couldn't block him. Like, just being honest, Mets couldn't block him. I'm not going to, you know, dog a college athlete or anything like that. But, you know, it is what it is. He couldn't block him, and he didn't give him any help. So, like, if we on a court or we playing football and you smoking me, right? You smoking me like, JT, he toast, but nobody's giving me help. You gonna keep coming to me, right? You gonna keep coming to, hey, until you back off, do something to help me out, then I'm toast until you adjust. And he didn't adjust. And then you do that. The dude's already playing with his hair on fire, for one. As you see, he had 3 sacks in the second half. You didn't do anything that you did, like bubble screens, but it was a wide receiver screen. Nothing like, you should have ran at him if you're not going to hold it, put another tight end over there. Make him think. He didn't have to think, and he already knew he was more athletic than the tackle that was over him. So it was like you helped him out. It's not like Georgia needed any help. They got talent. That's one thing they do have. Nobody can deny that. They might underachieve consistently, and you know what I mean. But since the new guy's been there, you know he's been doing his thing. So it's gonna be interesting, man. But like I said, like if UC was in a better conference, I mean, you can't choose where everybody wants to get out of the conference, right?
Comment here, it says conference kills
them. That's right, Jonathan. You're right. It kills them because behind closed doors, nobody's gonna say it, but every day they're trying to get out of that conference.
Yeah, everybody
knows that. Everybody knows that. I mean, they're gonna save face, of course, but if the ACC came calling right now, we'll have a press conference in a month, and then everybody like, hey, they going there. If the Big 12 came calling, they would have a press conference, whenever, and they would be there. If the Big 10 came calling, they would be there. So only one that I wouldn't want to go to, honestly, would be the SEC, but I would go there just because we need the money. But but that'd be the one I'd be like, let's just chill on that. Let's try to go to the other two, just because I think like UC is in a position where if they went to the ACC this year, they would have been a top 3 team. I think they could have banged with Clemson and on Notre Dame. And then I think if they were in the Big 12, they would have won the Big 12. Personally.
Okay. Now we got
something else. Got some heat. All right, go ahead.
We got some comments.
All right,
cool. Now I think this is your boy here, Alex.
No, Alex, what's happening?
Yeah, he said, what would it take for the school itself and fans to put an emphasis where it should be at UC on the basketball program? Shout out to front office news and brother JT.
My guy, Alex. All right, look, y'all know UC's a basketball school, but the game is so messed up. You gotta become a football. You gotta be football driven. That's where the money's at. Just think about it. Like I did a research maybe like 6-7 years ago, right? So somebody was talking stuff, and I'm like, who make the most money for UK athletics, right? Everybody would think it's the basketball team. UK football is like blah, right? They starting to go to the bowls occasionally, but if you do the research, they get the most money from the football team, and that's before they were even making bowls for real. Like so. It's football's king, man. Like that's the crazy thing. Even though basketball is definitely the heart and soul of the school for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I'm a UC fan because of basketball.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
come on, man, Nick Van Exel and Danny Fortson and all them, Kenyon Martin. Come on now,
Right.
but the money is where football is, man. Everything is geared towards football. If you can't support football, then you lost, unless you are just a pure basketball school. So that's why, to answer your question, that's why I think, I know you want them to put all the resources into basketball, which they are putting some good resources into it. But Alex, football is king, and you wrote about it too, so that's what's making it even funnier if you asked that question, Alex. That's why I'm laughing.
All right, we got Jay Boyle here. Do y'all think UC is now a football school with the success of the football program, the decline of the best? I mean, it's a good question to ask. I'm not sure if it's all the way there yet, though. I mean, it might be.
It might.
What you think? I mean, because this year, I always go by the post on Twitter. That'll tell you what all you need to know.
Right now, if you grade it right now, it's a football school off the strength of if we talk about football, people gonna chime in. Talk about basketball, it's gonna be rough right now.
Yeah,
right now. But I still think UC's a basketball school, though. I mean, for sure. But if a couple more years like this, if it keeps, the pendulum keeps swinging like this, then it might swing forever. You never know, because Fickle is like a god for real right now, especially if he keeps staying. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next question I got for you, or for the people out there watching. The DC, we found one.
Yeah.
Mike Tressel. He was the defensive coordinator for D'Antonio up in Michigan State. He had some good defenses. He did have some good defenses up there. I remember them holding that Ezekiel Elliott and that team up there to 14 or something like that. That was a masterful performance. But there were some mixed emotions.
Man. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. You go ahead. It was some mixed emotions. I'm happy with the hire.
I'm happy too. I didn't even join that one because all right, just go back. You fast forward, right? You see how people online, they could have hired, all right, everybody wanted Chris Ash, right? I think. Yeah. I feel like that was kind of the hot name. But once Meyer went to the league and he can give him an NFL bag, he probably all right, I'm just gonna go to the NFL. Like, why not? But I don't see, I think they could have hired like Marcus Freeman's cousin, right? It could have been like, he's Marcus Freeman's helping him. It's his clone. Everybody would still been pissed because they lost Freeman. That's what I think it was for real. And then you got to think about it, like Tressel, the name hold weight. So like if you go somewhere in Ohio and somebody say Tressel, they automatically gonna listen to you a little bit. Yeah. They don't even gotta know what he do. Like, oh, Tressel, oh, you related to Jim? You know what I'm saying? And he in the door, right? So he already knows the landscape. He's been down here for a couple years. He's been a D coordinator at a big time school. So it's like, all right, we actually got somebody from a big time school to come down and be our D coordinator after we lost our D coordinator to a big time school. I'm not mad at that personally. I'm pretty sure it's gonna hold weight. It's literally kids on this team right now that got recruited by Tressel to go to Michigan State.
That's true. Like
Woodley, Justin Woodley. He was down in Michigan State, not Ohio State, my bad. Michigan State and us, and he chose us. But it was Freeman and Tressel recruiting him. So that's the kid already that's like, what's up, Tressel? Like, I already seen him say, like, what's up? And his other kids that have been down, like Jones, the linebacker, from Lakota. David. He was down at Michigan State and UC. So, he's familiar with a lot of these kids. So essentially, even though he lost on him, because Freeman is a heck of a recruiter, but he's going to try to recruit the same type of kid, which that's what we want right now. We don't want to be shy about trying to get bigger, big name recruits. Just because Ohio State offered or LSU offered, don't mean we can't put our hat in the ring and see what happens. Obviously they win a couple of those, and I think Tressel's going to fit in that bag in that role. So I think it's good. I don't see how it could hurt. You can't control Big Ten teams who has more talent overall than the AAC on a year-to-year basis, and then come to the AAC and not be able to hold weight, especially with the talent UC got.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Hey, I like the hire. I thought it was good. You know, I didn't expect it, but I thought it was a good hire. Um, UC fans gonna find a way to complain.
Oh, for sure. We got to. That's what we do.
What it is. They're gonna find a way to complain, and I think you're right. It's just because it's not Freeman. That's
Yep.
all it is. It's not Freeman, and we didn't want him to go nowhere.
No.
And I didn't either, but
No, he didn't.
But he deserves it. He deserves it. Best coordinator in the country. He deserves to be able to unfortunately upgrade his position.
Man, I mean, because look, a couple years there, he's gonna get whatever job he wants.
Yep.
At the end of the day,
perform well there, it's over.
It's over. And they gave him a crazy raise. Like if that report that I saw is accurate, I mean, they gave him more than 3 times what he's making now, or just about 3 times. Like, so you telling me I can increase my profile and get a crazy raise? I mean, that's a win-win. He says he wants to be a coach, and he sees how Fickle is doing it. So if Fickle's not thinking about leaving like that, you kind of have to, I mean, bet on yourself a little bit. And it wasn't like he went to a whack school. Like I could see if he went to like South Carolina. I know some people that graduate from South Carolina, my homies, but it ain't like he went to South Carolina, which is a heck of a school, but it's not like a top tier school, right? So like, Alabama, Ohio State. And Ohio State is stupid for not trying to throw the bag at him, honestly, after how Combs performed in that national championship. But that's another story.
Don't touch the Buckeye fans wrong now.
No, I'm saying they should have threw that bag at him for real. Like, but then I'm just seeing Combs is a heck of a recruiter though. But come on, man, Freeman would have definitely gave him a better chance. But they should have threw the bag at him, man, for sure. But just think about it's top tier teams: Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, maybe USC when they're on. Right now they're not. Texas normally, but right now they're not. So those 5 teams, you kind of have to think about it. Be like, hey, LSU in that range, Georgia is probably right in that range too. But they're like, hey, we want you. You kind of have to listen, and there's nothing we could do about it. And it sucks because we're doing good enough where everybody wants our tree, just like Notre Dame took our freaking recruiter and coordinator today. I'm like, dang, they just all right. They took Mickens last year, they took Freeman this year, and Freeman and the coordinator this year. It's like, dang, they just plucking us. But it's we're doing something right if they're plucking us like that. So that's the way to look at it on the glass half full type thing.
Yeah, we doing something right. And one thing also, if they plucking us, we replacing them with solid candidates like your boy, like Ilano, who you was able to to interview. So he replaced Mickens, and that DB room ain't really fall off none at all. If not, it got better. So so we gotta trust Luke on his who we hire as his coaches, because like I said, he's earned that right for us to trust him. That's for sure. So now, obviously, with 9-1, had a chance, at a at a college football playoff. New Year Day 6 Bowl. Is this the expectation for Bearcat football moving forward, especially as long as Luke Fickell is at the helm?
Yeah, as long as Fickell's here, man. I think that's gonna be what it is right now. Because I feel like the way they're recruiting, I'm not even everybody's kind of up in arms about the couple recruits that decommitted, but they're not even in the building yet. It's kids that are already in that 21 class that are already working out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they don't even care. Like, hey, we here. So it's like if they're gonna keep recruiting like they are, I think it's gonna be. I think that's going to be expectation as long as Fickell is at the helm right now, because you're not going to have a mass exodus of people leaving. You're going to have a few that dip. Of course, that's just how it goes. But I mean, they're going to leave even if Freeman's here or not, because it's just a numbers game. You might not get to play as much as you expect, or vice versa. Injuries can happen. College is a dirty game when it comes to that at the end of the day. But the way he's recruiting is legit, man. He's filling holes. I mean, he's keeping kids. I mean, now people have a chance to go to the NFL, which is even crazier now. So it went from just build up the program talent. Now you like, James Hudson leaves early. Everybody knows he's going to possibly be a, second to fourth round pick, depending on how everything works out, which is impressive, especially for UC. It's not like it's Ohio State or, Bama or Clemson where, you're going to spit them out. If you're a backup, you're going to probably be a fifth round pick. It's not like that. But here, you got, Wiggins, who before tearing his knee, I don't think he was going to come back the year before that. He was hurt. I think he was going to be out. But he tore his knee up. So I think, and everybody had him as like, the fifth best DB / safety in the draft that year. So he's still a second round potential, depends on how testing and all that stuff goes. And there's a lot of other talent that's just out there in general. I mean, I think Derek Forrest should be a guy that gets his name called. Maybe it's, later, mid to late in the draft, just depending on how they grade him. But if they look at the tape, I feel like he's one of the better safeties in college. Just a real solid, steady dude. I think he'll be a real good NFL player. Even Jarrell, he's just small. That's the only thing that's gonna knock him.
Yeah, his
height and weight is gonna kill him. I just think, I think if he gets a fair chance, like if COVID's not killing them where they don't get to not have practice and stuff like that, I think he'll be a guy that you be like, hey, he's on a practice team or on a team just because how he plays and he's versatile. It's just his size. If they don't get to do like the normal workouts, that's going to kill him because they're going to just put the specs on him and be like, all right, whatever. But if he gets a chance, we'll see. But we'll see, man. I just think the team, like you said, man, I think long as we got Fickle, I think this will be a normal thing for UC because in the AAC as a whole, a lot of coaches leave so fast. Just think about it, not even us. But think about, Taggart leaving, USF, and then he messed this stuff up because he kept bouncing around. He should have just chilled out.
He was too thirsty.
He got thirsty. They put that bag and he just couldn't sit down, and that messed him up. And now he's not even, there no more. But, the dude who's there now? You think that wasn't a person from Florida State? Wasn't that the Memphis guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they took two people. And you got to think about the dude from Temple that went to Miami. Even though he's not the coach anymore, but when Houston had Herman, he went down to Texas. There's a lot of top-notch coaches get plucked from this conference. If we could just keep, Fickle, I think we'll be cool. It's just that, and I think he got a lot rolling right now, man. I think they just keep humming.
Yeah, you got the momentum rolling for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a question from Brandon Howard. It said, will we see any transfers from Michigan State to UC on defense?
I don't know. That's a good question, man. Because it depends on how young they are, I think. Because it's so stacked. Unless it's like one of their top dudes, they might be at the back of the bus right now. So I think if they're young, it's possible. And definitely because of the coach having that connection with them. It's definitely on the table. Because I just think like a lot of kids, if they the kids that committed that opted out, I think they don't play for going to Notre Dame just because Freeman. If Notre Dame thinks they're good enough, they'll have a chance to be Notre Dame. Fighting Irish for sure. So it's definitely possible. I just think it won't be as many as people think because UC so stacked. You gotta have to be ready to fight if you want any kind of playing time on that defense end right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's multiple NFL prospects on that defense.
Yeah.
All over, defensive line, secondary, wherever, you name it, you got it with them.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to switch gears here. We was talking about the fun stuff,
Right.
football, that was the good stuff. Now we got to talk about
We're gonna do this.
the not so good stuff. I'm gonna keep it right for timeout. Normally on Twitter I get a little loose, but no. I'm gonna start off with this because we rap.
Yeah.
It was kind of a big expectations for him coming in. He was supposed to fill a scoring role.
Yeah.
A front court role. That just really didn't, materialize. And it just the game was too fast for him. And all of a sudden he was gone. Like what happened with him? It was just like you know, the 2-week break happened obviously with the winter break, and then you looked up, he was just gone, and it was just like that was it.
Yeah.
Like, what happened with Rap?
Man, that's a good question. Like all I know is I asked a couple people, they like he gone, and that's all I got.
See, that's all I got. He gone. That's
like,
all I got.
I said, is he really gone? And they like, yeah, he gone, man. So like, that's all I got. Like I'm gonna have to go to, like I'm gonna have to go to a game. I'm gonna let my interns go to mass games. I'm gonna have to go to a game and just beat the streets and see if I get like a real definite answer, man.
Answer.
Like for real, because like it's so many speculations in my head. Like this is what I think, like for real. Because remember, like you see, all right, you know, they've lost a lot of games this year compared to normal, right?
Right.
But it's been mass games where they get down and they go small and they catch up, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, then you ask, you know, coach after the game, he like, you know, we went out of necessity because fouls, they went small. But it's like, man, you watch the game, it's like, man, if y'all would have played 25 minutes small, y'all would have won by 10. You know what I'm saying? In my head, right? But when you see the big man, because you know, at first he was starting the Twin Towers, you know what I'm saying, right?
I said that from game one, and you like, calm down, relax. I'm like, they can't, Cardi. They can't.
Yeah. The thing was, I ain't gonna lie, this is what messed me up about Rap, right? So like, with Rap is how he killed UC last year.
We ain't getting none of that.
No, he fried us like, and I've seen a lot of games live, but I was like, man, this dude is the truth. Like Corey Davis, was that name Chris Davis? Corey Davis for Houston. Remember the little combo guard? I saw him. I'm like, man, this dude is fire. Like you just see him, like, man, this dude can ball. Like, you know. But I hadn't been that impressed since I've seen Corey Davis play. Like just straight up. I'm like, man, who is this dude? He's cooking us from outside. He's killing us inside, and Trey ain't whack on defense. That's another thing. We might be here all day talking about that. Trey was a defensive player. Player.
I'm sorry.
He killed.
Absolutely. I want to say shout out to my boy Chris Brown. I appreciate it. Definitely.
He did. But he killed literally, right? But we didn't know that he was going to go on the other end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? But the thing, man, he was so impressive, man. He was inside, outside, inside, spin move. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like he was killing us. So I'm like, all right. The first game, like, all right, he just getting his feet wet. You know, he pressing, it's a new team, COVID. So I'm giving him excuses in my head because I seen the dude kill us, right? And then you start watching, like, man, that spin move ain't gonna work against these boys. Why are you doing that spin move? Just shoot a pull up, pass it. Like, you can't just, if you ain't got it, you gotta pass it. So like I think in Colgate, wherever Colgate played in the Patriot League or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He could get that off. But it was crazy. He played at Northwestern too, so it was like the Big Ten ain't no chance. I thought, okay, he played at Northwestern. All right, I don't know what happened there. He's at Colgate. He killed it. You know, his numbers weren't great when you look at the numbers, but I'm like, all right, if you're the main guy for your school, sometimes your numbers ain't gonna be the greatest. Right. So like, all right, you look at his numbers, say low 40s or whatever, maybe high 20s, low 30s for threes, but you like, man, all right, he's the guy. Maybe he got one other guy that's skilled like him. It's gonna be tough. So I didn't look at that because you get into the numbers thing, and the numbers will skew everything up if you don't watch the game. You would think freaking James Wiggins is the best player in the NBA if you look at the numbers sometimes. You know what I mean? Like anybody can skew it any way you want it to work for you. But so I'm like, all right, he gonna be cool, right? So then I forgot what game it was, man. He turned the ball over like 3 times every time he touched it.
Was it Tennessee?
I think so, man. That game was winnable too, right?
Very, very winnable.
Very winnable. So I wasn't even impressed with Tennessee.
I was moving. I was watching it. Like I was actually. I don't know if I was on the road. I don't know what I was doing, but I know I was in the car. I had it on my phone, and I was listening to, Terry on the radio, and all I'm hearing is Rap gets the ball, spin out, turnover, and I'm just like, how many times is he gonna turn the ball over?
He turns it over like. I swear he touched it 4 times in a row and it was 4 turnovers, dog. Yeah. Or if he didn't turn over, he got blocked. It was just like, it was bad. Like, so being a person that covers the team, you try to always be objective because your fandom could take over and you can get real cloudy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get cloudy because you want them to win. Like, so you don't think about certain stuff. And, because when your team plays and they lose, you be mad. Because, you like, I ain't do this. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? I try to take a step back because so what only way I could look at it, like, dang, they blew it. But then I started looking, I'm like, man, first I was like, I didn't think Rat was going to leave. So I was like, all right, the only way this is going to work, because I feel like Brandon and Vogt, because of the transfer thing, I feel like I didn't think he was ever going to bench Vogt, right? But, Vogt is one of the bigger guys of the team, but he can't guard the pick and roll. He doesn't rebound well for his size. And when he's not going offensive, going offensively, what can he bring to the table, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but I thought Vogt was untouchable in my head. So I think that's what took so long for the change to happen. I think Brandon just really, which I give him credit for, to be like, look, I gotta bench him, play him a little bit. If he's going, keep him in there. If not, sit him down. And I give him props for that. I didn't think that was going to happen. Maybe it took longer than it should have. I think they should have went smaller earlier. I think the season have been a little bit better. But I'll give him props for doing it because I didn't think he was going to do it personally. I thought he was always going to keep Vogt in there, Eason, and then just sprinkle however he was going to do it. But the rap thing, man, I didn't see that. I thought then, he would just keep Vogt, and then him and Rap plays pretty much 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But then he just splits between those two. And then when he has to play them both together, I would hope never. then we were going to have to just take a sip, you know what I'm saying? And just bite our tongues because it was going to be tough. Because they were going to have two people to pick on a defensive team that's not really good defensively anyways. And your bigs can't cover any ground. It's a recipe for the disaster. And they're not blocking shots. So, like, if you're going to be, can't move your feet at all, and you can't block shots, you might have a clumsy guy that can block shots. At least he's erasing some that he can erase. Exactly. They can't erase none. So it's like, Julius gets beat off the dribble and he's a good defender. Keith doesn't foul and he's in front of the person. He's a good defender when he's playing right, and he gets allows a straight line drive. It's probably going to be a layup because they're not erasing anything. So you might as well do what you're doing. Let Eason, who can erase stuff occasionally, as long as he's on the floor, and just go small and just see what happens. Just throw it on the wall. It is college, so it's not like NBA where you gotta be traditionally big for real. You kind of get away with it for real, as long as your guards are playing right. They gotta be scrappy and rebound too. So
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about playing small. Like and I would love to play small, but I just don't feel like our guards are scrappy enough. When we went small, the Sweet 16 year with Mick Cronin, you had somebody like Jaquan Parker.
Yeah.
That go in there at 6'4" and get you 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's going to fight and guard power forwards, Yeah. It's just, for me, what concerns me overall is that the identity of the basketball team.
Yeah.
I just would love, like, even if we're losing, and I knew this year would be rough overall, just because, the turnaround, you lose Jaren, you lose Trey, you lose Javen, you lose all these guys, and then you got to replace them with new guys, and even though McNeil wasn't much, but, you lose these guys and you got to replace them with younger guys.
Yeah.
And so I knew it would be tough. It's just what's bothering me is that we don't have an identity.
Yeah.
It's nothing that we can hang our hat on that we do well. We don't shoot it well. We don't rebound it well. We don't defend. It's like, even on the Cronin early years, it was like, okay, we're not good. We're not good. We're struggling in the Big East. However, I know this team gonna rebound, and I know they're gonna work. You know what I mean? They're not gonna let nobody beat them to a loose ball or anything like that. Maybe once he gets his system going and his guys get older, maybe we'll see what we want to see. But for right now, that's I think that's my issue. But at least give us some light at the end of the tunnel about John Brandon, because my guys is basically they done with him.
Yeah.
we done had discussions
Yeah,
here
yeah. I know we didn't talk.
about how I feel. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. But give us some
All
hope,
right.
man. Give
All
us the
right.
light at the end of the tunnel on this one.
All right. So I'll give you this. All right. So honestly, I don't think anybody understood how important Trey Scott was as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And I cover, we cover, watch them play. I cover a lot of games, talk to Trey a lot, talk to him recently, right? But I didn't understand how important he was as a whole. Like, because last year, Chris Vogt, I know he wasn't Shaq. No, everybody knew that, but he was like a solid dude, could finish with both hands, didn't do anything stupid. And he wasn't, he wasn't great on defensive end, but he wasn't he wasn't killing you on defensive end last year. But,
Right.
But I think Trey, he covered up so much stuff that we couldn't see or understood that you had to watch it again, or maybe 3 or 4 times probably to understand. Like the first watch, you couldn't understand it because this year I didn't think Vogt would be, especially on defensive end, be as bad as he's been.
Awful.
But Trey covered up so much stuff. So that's my one thing. Like the thing is, Eason's a heck of a talent. I personally don't think Cronin gets a guy like Eason. Only thing, like you said, we don't have that identity, so that does suck. We knew what Cronin was going to get: tough dudes, rim runner, big men. They're going to play defense everywhere, going to hold the ball, play old man offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Go play old man offense. We're going to score 50 points against a good team. You know what I'm saying? Against the bums, they'll score 70, 80, or whatever. But this team, Brandon wants to run, but then I think the bigs that he had wasn't, besides Eason, don't fit the style of play that he really is trying to incorporate into the team for real. Because Vogt isn't a guy that can, when you're running up and down, scares you if you're on defense, because he's not gonna get the ball and do anything off the dribble. He has to, the guards have to get it to him, and hopefully he's in the right spot. They get it to him too far up the key, that's a travel, or he's going to charge because he's not going to be able to do anything, right? So that, like everybody knows that. So then we thought Rap was going to be like that skilled, not super athletic, but just a super skilled big man that could shoot from outside, give you some work in the paint, hit the mid-range shot if need be, just be real skilled. And that didn't come to fruition at all. I think that killed the team more than even Vogt not playing as good as he did last year. Because I think you losing somebody like Trey, and then you replace him with Rap, essentially, and then a freshman who I think is super talented, going to be, an all AAC player before he leaves here. And I don't think he'll be here that long. I think he's too talented. Like I just see it. Just his teams is not as good, so nobody's really talking about how good Tari Eason is. But he could do everything on the floor. He's only going to get better. But I think our bigs per se, and I think Keith pressing on offense isn't helping either. And I'm a big Keith Williams fan. Super athletic, talented. He can do everything on the floor. But I think sometimes he gets stuck. You know what I mean? It's all right, I have to do it. And I think he needs to get
that tunnel vision.
Yeah, he can get real tunnel vision-ish in the game. And I think that hurts too at times. But I think the biggest thing is the bigs, at least the way we started, our bigs not holding up the weight that we thought they were going to hold up. Like Vogt and Rap, everybody kind of had high expectations for them, and it fell apart. And then now it's all on a freshman who I think is going to do well. It's just going to be interesting. I think, and shout out to Jeremiah Davenport. He's been playing that 4. I mean, he's the reason why I think he even has a semi chance of hopefully working if they, if they do get to play. They haven't played 3 games now,
right?
Maybe possibly 4. But I give him some time. I like how Harvey's playing. I'll get the rambling. I like how Harvey's playing. He's starting to actually show some flash. The dude's young. I'm going to probably post it tomorrow. Matter of fact, I am going to post it tomorrow. I got an article I wrote. He's really supposed to be a freshman this year because he reclassified. So
yeah, you're right.
So like that's what I had to take a step back and look. And he had 2 injuries each offseason. Like his ankle was messed up last year, and then like right before the beginning of the season, he started playing. That's why like I'm like he's supposed to be this or that. Then I found out he had an ankle.
Yeah,
And,
you
he
can
was
see it in this game though. You can see it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see it. I think my thing is this with and we got a comment. See what I'm
Go ahead.
saying? Look,
Yeah, I know. They don't fire yet. They don't fire yet. We gave Nick some time.
I mean, look, you know how, like I said, we done talk off the record, and you know how I feel. But it's like I want to sit. Sometimes I don't want them to be so stuck in the system either on offense. And sometimes it's like we're robotic
I get
on
saying.
offense. Like, okay, like I catch the ball, I have to pass here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I have to,
everything.
you know what I mean? The games in which, I think against SMU, we played more free than ever.
Mm.
We were pushing the pace,
Yeah.
shooting early in the clock.
Yeah.
If we missed it, we missed it. Oh well. And I think that has to be the recipe. I mean, and even on defense, force the issue. Let's press a little bit more.
Got to.
I think just to give him energy early.
Yep.
We always start behind the 8 ball. We
Yep.
look up, we blink, we down 10-4, we down 12. You know what I mean? And it's like we fighting uphill at the 15-minute mark already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not just come out and try to get some energy going and press, and then we wait till 10 minutes to get left in the game. We start pressing, and now we back in the game.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like we should have been doing that.
Yeah.
With the team that we have, we're not a great rebounding team, so it's pointless to even go big or even think about basically half court defense, really, because you're not going to rebound it on the first attempt.
No,
you're going to give up one.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm calm, a little bit more calm now. I understand where it's at. I'm gonna give him his fair chance.
Yeah, give him a little bit of time, man.
I'm gonna give him his fair chance.
Him a little bit of time. I know you've been.
I'm gonna give him until Eason is a junior.
That's fair. After that, it is what it is. No matter what, even if you still form, you kind of have to. The writing's on the wall.
You gotta kind of admit at that point, like
writing's on the wall by then. Yeah,
like he came in with 2 basically all conference players, players. You know what I mean? And people want to talk about how Mick started. I'm like, Mick only started with 1 scholarship player on his roster.
Yeah.
Brandon didn't have no. You know what I mean? So but I'm gonna give him a chance for sure. It's something totally new, and I'm gonna live with it. I'm gonna give him a chance.
Give him a chance, man. You got to. I mean, we got to. I mean, you see, ain't crawling in money where they just gonna fire somebody.
Oh,
so
no, they ain't got it like that.
This ain't Texas where we could just be like, and it's gone. You know what I mean? So we gotta roll with it. But I think honestly, I like how he recruits. I just think now I think he understands he has to get that rim runner type dude. Now
you gotta get a dog in there.
You gotta get a dog. You gotta get because the teams that beat us normally have they might not be great, but they do what they do. Like was it USF? Was that who beat us in the first time? And the dude, they had 2 dudes with double doubles. Like, dude, he wasn't that good. He just was like, hey, I'm a rebound. I'm dunking on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm making it up, and I'm playing defense. That's what he did. So I think like we'll need somebody like that. I mean, dude coming back helps. I knew that was going to be a huge loss because he was the only dude that I feel like his numbers aren't going to be great at all, but he can rebound a little bit. He can block shots. When he's playing freely, he can shoot and score.
So what happened with dude? And all of a sudden, was he back? Was it an issue there?
Man, I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think it was an issue. He had the little baby girl, and I think he probably started thinking about COVID, and then he was like, man, I'm only playing whatever minutes now. I might as well just chill. That's what I think personally. Because I hit him up. I'm not supposed to say that online, but yeah, I had. He said he was coming back, but I don't think it was no beef because he got back too easy.
Yeah, you're right.
If it was super beef, I think like he wouldn't have been able to come back like just right now. They would have been like, oh, let's go ahead and transfer. They wouldn't have let him just come right back. So I know it wasn't no beef. I think he thought about it. He probably like, man, I'm not playing that much. I got a daughter that's 2 or 3 months old. Probably like, man, it ain't really worth it for real. Then he probably was like, look, man, I need you. What we're trying to do now fits more what you're trying to do. You need to come back. You should come back. What you want to come back. Right. Something like that. I think something of that stature happened. I'm like, hey, look, Rap leaving. That'd be your minutes. You
Hey,
fit what you're trying to do
but
up and down.
I want Brandon to let dude fire them trays up.
I do too.
He ain't fired them trays up yet.
Man,
I
no.
think that helps the offense if you can get a big that forces the big to step out, and now you have driving lanes for a non-shooting team.
Yeah, we can't
So I
shoot.
mean, let dude fire him up, and it ain't like he shot 71%. Was he 5 for 7? I know it was a small sample size.
Still, you know you
But
can make it.
still, that means he hitting them when he shoot them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was big threes at I was at the Wichita State game last year where he hit that big three.
Yeah.
You know, so I want him to kind of loosen up on do a little bit. Let him shoot the mid range. Let him shoot it because he's a skilled player. You know, once if he let the game come to him and relax and not be so frantic. He's a skilled player. He can play.
Yeah, he can play.
Definitely play.
For
All
sure.
right, before we get up out of here, man. Question I wanted to ask. We do have a few seniors. Now, honestly, it is starting to change. We have a few seniors vote, Keith. At what point do you just go with the younger guys? I understand you really can't all the way do it because you just can't alienate Keith. He had a professional career to look after, even if it's not in the NBA, over the water or whatever. But at what point does you got to kind of push the youth movement?
Man, it was crazy because thinking about that, these 3 games that got canceled it blurs the water because you're like, all right, if you lose these next 3 in a row, Houston, you count that as a loss, right?
Oh man, they some dogs, yeah.
You count that as a loss. So you like, all right, if you lose one of if you go 1 and 2 or you lose all 3 of the games that they're supposed to play, you like, man, all right, that Houston game, you probably just going with the young boys all, consistently, right? But them not playing the games, I mean, they're supposed to be rescheduled. Hopefully they get to play them, knock on wood, but now it kind of muddies up how fast that the pure youth movement is going to happen. I think because you don't know how many games they're going to play. You don't know who's healthy. So it's throwing a wrench in everything. Because now, I mean, I'm intrigued, to ask a question to you. I mean, I know Gabe, he didn't, because of mental health reasons, he's bowed out the rest of the season. But, Mason, he's came in and he was kind of like the throw-in everybody thought of the deal. I mean, when he's played, he's looked pretty decent. Like, how have you, looked at him? You like him, or is it kind of whatever when you see him on the flip? I know he hasn't got that many minutes, but like, what do you see out there with dude? You seem like I think he's a little scrappy dude that might be all right.
Yeah, and a comment that I have here is it's on my actual personal page, not not the timeout page, but it says I just think we're kind of soft.
I can't disagree. That's why I think they had to go small earlier, because there was at the end of the day, we weren't going to out tough anybody going to the 2 bigger guys. It wasn't going to happen. And then so it was just like run up and down. We're not going to rebound the ball with the 2 bigs in there anyways. Let's just try to make it a fast-paced game and see if we can get to the hole more than you and stop fouling as much. That's it. Because everybody's affected by not having the fans. I think that's hurting them a lot too. But the whistles are pretty terrible in the AAC. But we can't make an excuse when you 3-7. You 3-7. It is what it is.
Yeah, but, exactly. Because I mean, we've been in the AAC a while. We know that whistle been ugly for a while, but somehow, some way, we find a way to come out victorious more times than not. It just seems like the mental stuff, and maybe this is because of the youth, the mental toughness. It seems like when one bad thing happens, another one happens, and then they're coming to run, and then all of a sudden we're down 10, and it's like we were just in the ball game. I guess patience. It's just hard for us Cincinnati fans to be patient at anything.
Man.
I guess we gotta have it right now.
We got to, because the thing is, we're not used to this. So that's the
thing.
We're not used to this. We're not used to this, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, we're not used to this. And I've done, a few pods myself, and I've never had to talk about them losing. You know, normally they're like, okay, they're not that good this year. They're
we're not playing as well.
Yeah, are we not reaching our full potential right now? But we're a good team. If somebody catches us late in the season, I think we'll have a chance. Blah blah blah. Like even last year, I think if they play in the, depending on how the stuff was, I think they would have had a chance to shock some teams. I mean, I thought they were looking pretty decent at the end of the year.
I thought so too, especially with the way Trey Scott was balling.
Yeah, when Trey started being able to go inside out, and he was rebounding like he was, I said, oh man, this team is crazy, because nobody saw Trey making that kind of a jump.
No, I didn't. Because he was struggling under Brandon Ford at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
he was struggling, and all of a sudden it clicked for him, like boom.
And it clicked, and it wasn't like a phantom click. You know, sometimes you might get a hot streak. You know, the Jeremy Lin. You know, where it just be like, I'm killing the league. Now stop me. Nah, dude was getting. I mean, he had a 20-20 game. I mean, and it was like it wasn't no soft nut. The ball bounced on the ground. He was going to go get it.
Nah, them was legit.
Man. He was down there banging. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And I mean, he's always said, like, you know, he's always been like the I would say like the Justin Jackson light type dude. Like I always saw like he's like a Justin Jackson, right? But he might could shoot a little bit better. Like, you know, I know Justin's playing in overseas now, and he firing that thing, but he wasn't like that at UC. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I think Trey can shoot it a little bit better than Justin. And he kind of the same kind of athlete. I think Justin might be more springy as far as quick jumps, but kind of like the same dude, you know, smart with the ball, not going to turn it over, can handle the ball enough, you know what I mean, where they're not going to just be throwing it out of bounds and stuff like that, and can pass well. So I'm like, man, all right. But then he started just slapping up doubles and then just giving cats 20 and 10. And I'm like, oh man, this team is crazy. And Cumberland started kind of getting it together and, you know, piecing it together that way. And, you know, Javen was hitting a few threes here and there. Keith would come do his thing when he needed to. So I'm like, man, they might be able to shock a team or two. Because I just was tired of losing on the first weekend. If look, UC, I'm going to throw this out there now. I'm going to just go crazy. If UC can have a crazy record, everybody going to be pissed. They're going to want to fire Brandon, right? But the next year, if he goes to the second weekend, everybody going to forgive him.
I will.
You know what I'm saying?
I will. I'm not gonna lie. If he makes it to the second weekend, I'll forget this year. I forgive him. But we know Mick ball really don't work.
Not when it counts.
But my thing was, I don't even want to bring up that game.
Man, that game, man. I think my son cried. He saw how sad I was. He cried, man. I felt so bad as a father. Man.
I was so sad, man. Cause I'm up here, I'm talking so much trash. I'm like, wow,
I'm talking cash. I'm talking cash.
Man, I'm talking about, man, we about to hit the Final Four because we was balling. I mean,
it was set, man.
And then we was balling, and then the way the bracket ended up shaping up.
Dog, Kentucky lost, Arizona lost.
Right.
I was like, okay, we might have to play Arizona, but all right, whatever. Right. It's gonna be a tough game. Kentucky, just because they Kentucky, is gonna be a tough game. They lost. I'm like, oh man, we straight, we good. So we're gonna play with that Chicago team. I'm like, man, we about to send sister home.
Right. I was ready, thirsty for him.
Man.
And then it was like an 11 seed, Kansas State. That was I'm like, man, we about to destroy this bracket. And then it's just slowly chipping away.
I'm like,
I'm looking, I'm like, okay, it got down to 10. I'm like, all right.
They gonna make
a run.
Yep.
But the panic move, he put Cumberland back on that court. That was a panic move to me.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we need something.
Yeah.
Don't foul. And he went back in there and was like, within a minute, foul. And got the fifth foul. And you see Cronin screaming crazy, and you just see the bench kind of like, sometimes it just feed off your. But that's why that's when I was honestly about done with Cronin.
That was it
for me.
It was a kiss of death for real. Like nobody said it for real.
Yeah.
You know, like it's some people that are pure Cronin people that won't address it, or they'll just try to crap on Brandon, whatever. But at the end of the day, that was the kiss of death because, like, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, everybody loves Huggins, right? So if you're a UC fan, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna love Hugs, and it's been not painful, But Hugs gave everybody something to cheer for, even though at the end it was a little rocky. But he was still getting those recruits that everybody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Word on the street as they would have had Bill Walker and OJ Mayo.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Like, that'd be crazy.
And Beasley.
Oh my God. I didn't want to say Beasley. But, imagine you see having that at that time, bro. That would have been crazy. And how he let them play.
Yeah.
Bro, they were gonna go crazy. We'd have had
a national championship, bro.
Facts. Him and Bill would have came down the street and went crazy.
Yeah, and because you gotta think, not only them two, like all them three, you still have somebody like Devin Downey that was still there, and he was a bucket.
Oh my God, he beat Kentucky by himself. He beat John Wall and them by himself.
Exactly.
That's a little known fact for everybody. He gave them 39 or something like that, like a triple double down there. He gave him a triple double. You know, when he played for South Carolina, and he was like, "If y'all keep Kennedy, I'll stay."
Yep, and we
that's why I went.
Cut the man Mike off in the middle of his speech.
Man,
and I was like, "Gosh, hey." That president, she was savage, bro.
So like, all right, little some history, man. All right, so I used to live like right across the street when I went to school there, right? So right after she fired Hugs, right? You know, like on Jefferson, right there by Turner Hall and everything. It's a light there now, but it wasn't no light.
Right.
It was 5 o'clock traffic, so I'm about to go to class, or I got night class. I'm about to go over to campus early, whatever. But she's stuck. Right, she's stuck. I think she got like a 325 or something. So she riding 12. Well, I'm saying 10 and 2. Right, everybody see her. She can't move. People blowing the horn, calling her a B, flicking her off. All she do is she just put her head down, just put her head by the wheel, and just act like she didn't see it. But I'm talking every car came through. Students walking by, flicking her off, calling her a B, stupid, blah blah blah. People can blow their horns, put their window down, pointing at her. It's like it wasn't even like summertime either, bro. It was like it had to be like 30-something degrees outside, like, and they was just cussing her out, bro. Like they would have had like tomatoes, they probably would have threw it on her car, and she couldn't move because she was in the inside lane and she couldn't make no quick right, nothing. In the light, it was, you know how it be when it's 5 o'clock when stuff normal and you can't move around Clifton like that. Yeah. And she was stuck, and they know it was her, man. They was so pissed, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, she. I mean, you know. People don't realize, you know, Hugs was tripping too, you know.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was a made man in Cincy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he pushed that envelope just a little bit too far. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. I still hate to see him over there at West Virginia because you know, you just look at their teams, just like they don't get the best guys, but he get guys that, you know, that fit, and he sees something in them, and they just blossom under it. They blossom under it, and I'm just like, ugh.
I mean, you just be like, dang, that was us. Like, it's like that.
Right, that was us.
That meme where dude be looking at the that Wolverine picture, and they be
like you just gotta hold the picture, right? That's how it is.
They might go to Sweet 16 or something. You like, oh, can we go to
exactly?
Like,
exactly.
If he would have got that Nevada game, he probably would have been made for real.
Hey, if he would have got the Nevada game, because if he get the Nevada game, he probably at least go to the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight, at least.
If he go to the Elite Eight, he still got to be here. I'd be standing on the table like, why would they let him go?
He was made, because that was like, you know, you at that point, like, you know, Mick, you know, because I've talked to people that used to play, they'd be like, he all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna drop no name. He all right, you know. I'm like, how you feel? They kind of give you a little iffy answer, you know what I'm saying?
I've heard the same thing.
For real. And you could read through the message, like, yeah, all right.
It was cool, but it wasn't all.
Yeah. So you know, you see that, like, if he'd have got that, everybody would have had to give him his P's, but it wasn't meant to be, man. So I gotta give Brandon a little bit of time, man, just to see. But like you said, when my man is a junior, if it ain't right, it is what it is. We probably gonna have to, you know, it is what it is. But I got faith in him. I like how he recruiting, and now he just gotta get that gangster rim runner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gotta be the most skilled dude when you come in, but he just gotta be a little kid that just, this paint is mine. I want to dunk the ball hard every time, and I want to block shots and rebound. he gotta get that dude, and maybe be like, maybe if he can't shoot, but he can handle the ball, like pass a little bit, so he can create.
Yep,
So
and you know what? And I watch Florida State. They be having a team full of them dudes.
yeah, I know.
They all 6'9" and tall. Like they smallest players like 6'5".
Bruh.
And like that kid Scotty Barnes at 6'9" can handle it and do it. I'm like, they just.
But my man, he been getting like a certain type of dude like the last 5 or 6 years on the low.
Yeah, people don't hit Billy. Leonard Hamilton be recruiting his butt off and producing NBA talent at the same time.
And now they starting to go first round too. We'd be like,
yep.
They be having iffy stats. Like you'd be like, dude, average 10 points, 7 rebounds, but then he might have 3 assists. You'd be like, oh, he okay. You know what I'm saying? But you watch him play, you'd be like, oh, I see why.
Yeah, he a dog, right?
And you got a couple big men that just want to dunk hard. You know what I'm saying? And your guards just not turning the ball over, make a play here and there. That's what we need. We need the big man. I like how you getting the guards. I kind of like the young guards. I'm a Saunders fan. I like DeJulius a lot. I think him just trying to learn the point guard position. I think he's kind of learning how to pick his spots because he's a real strong finisher. His jumper just has been off this year, which is weird to me because he was shooting that thing up at Michigan though.
Yeah, it's the zero curse they say.
Yeah, it might be, man. He might have to go to like 5 or something.
you got to switch that number up. That zero curse is real. We're the Bearcats. but no, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show. You know, and you know, giving us a little intel on UC football, UC basketball. And one more time, tell the people where they can find you at.
All right, man. Check out the frontofficenews.com. Check me out on Twitter at _JT_Smith. Also at Front Office News on Twitter. Also at Front Office News on Instagram. That's where you're going to catch me. I got a Facebook page, but I think it's like Front Office News. People really don't be checking on my Facebook for real. So at least the website's Facebook. So make sure y'all hit up the IG and the Twitter. That's where you're going to get all the heat and hit the site. We're going to have all the reports and everything. So free site. Just check it out. Share if you like. If you don't like it, that's cool too. But just let me know what you don't like and we'll work on that. But hit the site up, man. Cam, I appreciate you for having me on. Yeah. You know, we talk a lot of trash, you know, on a daily basis. So I appreciate you having me on, you know.
Yeah, no doubt, no problem. I enjoy having you, man, and continue the great work, man. I definitely look forward to your articles and, you know, keeping me updated on what's what with UC Sports. All right, that's it, y'all. We about to head out. Timeout with Coach Cam with another one. Peace.
Timeout, overtime, hot take, debate, penalty by so many yaps. We on the way, unapologetic opinions, guests checking in, so I share on my social. Merch going up, my brother, he going